Okay guys, starting on another 148. It's a Philippine 148. Somebody's added RF power control here where the RF gain used to be. I think it's got extra channels in it, but I'll have to figure all that out. Anyway, all that stuff will come out. I'll clean it up, make it back like it was. This one was built in May of '93. Yeah, made in the Philippines. And the covers look kind of rough. So I'll probably do something with these. Either that or replace them. They don't have any dents in them, so might just be able to hit them with a good coat of paint, and that'd be it. But of course the meter's dull, yellow looking. They'll need to be replaced, and we're probably going to put an LC6404 in this one. Put a black face on it. See if I can clean up the bezel. Or I may just replace the bezel, one of those Ranger TR 296 bezels. I'd rather keep the stock one on here if I can. And I've got a faceplate decal on order from CMH that will relabel the switches. Alright, when I do some more to it, I'll do another video. Okay, got the board cleaned up, got all the modifications removed, got the RF gain control hooked back up, and there's only one thing that they did to the board around the PLL. See that run right there? They sliced it, you know, they might put a cut in it, but I was able to scrape the coating off of the copper and just run a thick solder bridge across it, and you know, that took care of that problem. Shouldn't have a problem there again unless you try to solder on those pins or whatever. The rest of the radio looks good. I mean, whoever did the RF power modification to the RF gain control did a good job. And so I'm in the process of still cleaning things up. I got all the switches out, got all the modifications, like I said, out of the radio, and there's the poor man's mod, the wiring that came out. This is the covers. Looks like this radio was worked on 4/12/97 by Calhoun CB Shop. It says tuned to box, Demon. Well, Demon cut the quick connects off of the speaker wires and soldered them to the speaker. At least I guess that's who did that. And this is the bottom cover. I'm sorry, the top cover. Wow. So needless to say, that one's going in the trash. And this is not off of a 148. I'm not sure what this is off of, but you can see there's no, see that little metal tab up there at the front? Should be one on the bottom cover as well, and there's not. So this one's going to get a brand new set of chrome covers. So it will have a black face, chrome covers, and a blue display, and it's getting a LC6404. We'll keep you posted as we go along, and like I said, that meter's going to get replaced. We'll clean it all up and get a video of it in operation. Alright, thanks. Okay, another update. Got the adapters mounted. Here's the one for the channel selector, and of course the hot glue underneath it. You guys know I like to do that to help support the adapter. Okay, I got the display mounted, and got the hot glue all around it. You guys know why I like to do that, so that it won't move. Okay, and there's the adapter on the other side, along with the new capacitor. And that small capacitor there, the 0.47 microfarad, I replaced simply because the one that was in there didn't have long enough leads and it got in the way of the adapter. So I replaced it and bent it over a little bit. And I've got the hot glue all around the adapter, like I like to do, to support them. Another thing I did was replace this cap, the one right next to the audio transformer, with a 4700 microfarad 25 volt or 35 volt, I can't remember. Yeah, 25 volt. And I took the capacitor that was there, the 1000 microfarad. It was a 25 volt, so I replaced the 1000 microfarad 16 volt that was right here with the one that came from the spot next to the audio transformer. Okay, and like I've said before, this board is really nice as well. No hack jobs or anything on the board. Whoever did the RF power conversion, the mod for adjustable RF power, did a really good job. And so there's nothing trashed inside the board. Okay, continuing on. Okay, got the LC6404 put together. I'm getting ready to wire in the Cobra harness and get it mounted and check it all out. Okay, got the board hooked up, testing it out, making sure everything works properly, and all the switches wired up, all except for one. This one's going to get a special display switch. Right now I got it in scan up, as a matter of fact. Take it out of scan. Okay, now of course you know I'm going to tidy up all of this wiring and mount the switches like they're supposed to be. Alright, that's the next update. We'll be back. Just discovered something. I was getting ready to install the switches. I noticed that the SRF SWR calibrate control was setting a little crooked. Looks like they've had one of the crystal expansion kits installed in the faceplate here and drilled out the hole so that it would take a 3/8 inch bushing. So pull the control out. I'm going to file that raised edge down on the inside there. Add a couple of washers so I can center the control up. But I wanted whoever gets the radio to know about this. I'll be back showing you what I did to fix it in a second. Repaired and centered. What I did was take the control out. Focus, you piece of crap. God. Took the control out and file down the rough edges. You know how it is when you drill through metal. At these raised edges on the other side. So after I file that down smooth, then I put a washer on each side of the bushing, centered it up in the hole, and tightened her up. As you can see, now it's straight. I don't know, I'm just kind of funny about things like that. Okay, on this one, I decided to, instead of using the 10 down, 10 up switch, I made that position the display select switch. In the center, you get the channel 1 reference. With it up, you get the frequency reference. In other words, it would be 28.725. And then if you move it down, you get band and channel number. Okay, and each band has 45 channels, except for the top one. Let me do the band up switch. Okay, there's C35. Back down to channel 1, see, and then it goes to B45. From B45, if I hit the band up button, we go to C45, and it'd be D45, E45, and then there's no F45, so it rolls back around to B. And the B band actually starts on channel 31 because it's negative 15 or 26815. It don't go down to 26515, which would be channel 1 of the B band. And with the switch in the center position, it goes to the channel 1 reference. In other words, all the numbering is based on where channel 1 starts. That's 15 channels below 1 there. All the way up is the frequency. That would be 26.815. Just put a 2 to the left and a 5 to the right of the 3-digit display. And it is a display, it's not a counter. Okay? But I did go ahead and wire up the 10 up, 10 down switch. It is inside the radio. It will be wire tied, of course. So if you decide you want to mount it in the side of the radio and drill holes in the face or whatever you want to do, there it is if you decide you want to mount it. But I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to drill holes in the face or in the side of it. I just rather not do stuff like that. Okay? Got the 6404 mounted. Got the cables all tied up. And of course I did the Schottky diode. And the high performance first RF transistor, receive RF transistor that is. Also upgraded some capacitors, like that one right there. I upgraded that one to a 4700 microfarad for the give you a little extra buffer on the peaks, like on sideband or when you're modulating on AM. That allows it, it gives it a little, like a battery, it stores a little bit of current. Okay, put the PLL on the socket. And got everything mounted. And I told you that the speaker wires had been cut. They cut the quick disconnects off the ends of them. So what I did was make my own quick disconnect. Okay, something similar to what the Galaxies and Rangers are doing. However, I reversed it. Put the socket on the speaker itself. See if I can zoom that in a little better. So This guy here will plug into this guy, and I need to put another wire tie on this. But there's the chrome covers. Just waiting for the glue to dry on the lens for the bezel. And the bezel cleaned up pretty nice. Here it is. That decal was made by CMH, which he does a pretty good job on these. They're nice and thick. Got my logo on there. Got all of the switches relabeled for me. But waiting on the glue to dry for that guy right there, so that it won't fall out. Okay. And like I said, the bezel didn't come out too bad. Now it does have light scratches in it. Nothing deep, you know, but you can definitely see all the light scratches there on the top. The sides and the bottom have light scratches too, but they're not as bad as the top. Let's see if I can. There you go. It has light scratches too, but not anything deep. Now, I tried buffing these out before, and it made the area that didn't have any scratches in it really shine, but that's about all it did. It didn't really do any good. Hold on. Let me set that back up here so that it can be drying and out of the way. Sorry about that. That's the bottom cover. Here's the top cover. And as before, you can't really see crap because it looks like a mirror, looking in a mirror. But I'll show it to you again when I get them mounted on the radio. Okay. As soon as the lens dries and I get through cleaning the knobs, I've got the knobs soaking now in a solution of 409 in water. I'll get those cleaned up. There's the inside of this beautiful 148. And I showed you the only minor thing they did to the runs around the PLL section was that one run, and they just put one slice through it, so I was able to basically put it back together, and I just put a thick run of solder over top of it. Now I'm thinking about adding an RFX 150 to this. This one is going to go from -15 to 172, so it'll cover all the way up to 28.725, which gets the 10-meter foam band. For you guys that are new hams or just got into 10-meter with your General. And this time I ran the meter cabling through that small hole there in the back. Of course, if I add the RFX 150, that's going to have to move. It'll come out through the bottom like it always has. Either that or I'll move it over and drill another hole. But it's looking good. Should be on eBay before too much longer. Thanks. There's the quick disconnect. There's the other wire tie. I added another wire tie about halfway down it. And I'm putting the covers on the radio now. Got the faceplate on it. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, got her put together. Got a white meter in it. And I just simply installed a white meter light. I can do the blue and red thing if y'all want that. There's the chrome covers. Actually look pretty doggone good. When I first got them, I thought, oh no, you know, can't put that on the radio. Actually, they don't look too bad. They look pretty doggone good, really. Skip's been running in and out. And I did something a little different with this one. See this plus or minus 10 channel switch? Well, that ain't what it does anymore. In the up position, it's what I call the frequency position. If you put it like a 2 in front of it and a 5 after it, it'd be 27385. Okay, and in the other position, center position, of course, is channel 1 reference. The C stands for CB channel 38. With it in the down position, that's band channel. That's band 3 channel 43. Okay, or band C rather, excuse me. Band D 43, band E 43, and if you reach over here and switch to frequency, you see that's 28.285. And it rolled over to 26815. Let me go back down to 28725. 285, and yeah, we do have some thunderstorms sneaking in. But anyway, like I said, I got the knobs cleaning. When I get the knobs cleaned, I'll be back to show you that. And I can also change this to the blue and red one too if you want it. Like I said, I got just a white bulb behind the meter. It's a white face meter. Westcom white face meter. Here's your scan up, normal, and scan down, save and get. And like I said, the plus and minus 10 channel is now the display select. The plus or minus 10 channel switch is inside the radio. Put heat shrink around it, labeled it, and put it inside the radio behind the switches here. So if you ever decide you want to add it, like maybe drill a hole in the back and put it back there or whatever, there it is. Okay? And let's see if we can find somebody. Well, hard to turn this thing without a channel knob. Anyway, I'll fool with that later. Back in a bit. Okay, picking up some ham traffic on 2846. It's about 467. I'm sorry, 28460 went the wrong way. 28460.
73, and watch for the CRS stuff there. You don't want that. This is November Uniform 1 Alpha Whiskey Strength 3. CQ contest. November Uniform 1 Alpha Whiskey Strength 3. November Uniform 1 Alpha Whiskey Portable 3. Headquarters station.
Now this is not the knob that goes with the radio. I just grabbed one and stuck it on here so that I could listen. Get back down in the free band. Oh yeah, gotta switch back to the lower sideband. And I'm also on the zeros. So I gotta go back to the 5.
Very hard to get it out of Africa. People were dying behind it. Well, shit like that. I don't remember. So, hey, Roger that.
Let's see what's on there.
727 Tampa Bay, 826, Long Island, New York. Take 25, 35 working volts, 25 microfarads.
Nothing. Really quiet on the international call channel. The only skip that I've been hearing here recently is U.S. stations. Okay, once the knobs get cleaned, I'll be back. Here it is. It's finished. Another beautiful set of Philippine Cobra knobs. Now you remember the RF gain knob had been replaced. So this is the knob that was on the volume. This is a new knob I took off of another radio. I use this one because the line is still visible on it. The line is no longer visible on this one. Now, like I said earlier, I used a white light in the meter. The meter has a white face to it, so that's comm meter. And this guy here is still blue and red. It changed colors there. And I can change that to a blue and red if you prefer. And here is the chrome covers. They really look nice. Like I said earlier, I wasn't real sure about how nice they would look. It turns out that they look very, very nice on these radios. Okay. And it does have a regular Cobra microphone. This is the microphone. I still got some cleaning to do. Not done with it yet. I've hit it with some contact cleaner. That's what you see, the wetness there. But it'll be clean and work perfect when you get it. And let's see. There's the meter cable coming out of the small hole there in the black, in the back. Sorry. And there's the tag. Was built in May of '93. It is a Philippine Cobra. See if I can get this thing to focus a little better. It does better when I get away from it a little bit. Anyway, the radio does about 15 watts top to bottom. Like I said, it does 26,815 to 28,725, or -15 to channel 172. Okay, I'm going to get some nice shots of this so we can get it up on eBay. Again, our eBay ID is LCTS03. And I'll be putting the radio on eBay in just a minute. Alright, thanks a lot, and good luck bidding. Didn't remember if I had demonstrated the new scan display. When the squelch opens and the radio stops, that's what the display does right there. C13, see it? I had a couple of folks tell me that it was hard to see when I had it set up to just blink, so I had it slow down to display the character. And of course, when the squelch is closed again, that's what it looks like as it's scanning. It's reminiscent of the old Bearcat scanners. I'm sure a lot of you remember that. I enjoyed many hours talking on my CB radio and listening to the scanner. I got into sideband radio way back in the early 80s. My first sideband radio was a realistic TRC-47. Matter of fact, I still have it. Okay, let me open the squelch one more time so you can see what it looks like. It spells out the number real slow, and then you notice it flashes it real quick. And with the squelch closed again, takes back off scanning after a short delay. It waits just a second to see if they're going to respond, if they're going to key back up. The scan goes up and down. Okay, thanks a lot. One other thing that I need to mention, this radio when we started on it was a Class D certified citizens band radio. But since I've done modifications to it, that certification is no longer valid. Okay, now I leave the model number and tag on there because it identifies when the radio was made and where it was made, because everybody likes a Philippine radio. But hams have been converting Class D citizen band radio to operate in a ham bands for decades. There was a question that come up about that. It's perfectly legal to operate it on the ham bands, and this one covers the 10-meter voice bands, but the Class D certification is null and void when you do anything to the radio that causes it to operate outside of the certification, including turning the modulation up so it goes over 100%, increasing the output power so that it goes over the FCC specified limits for that class of radio. So anything that you do that will cause it to change frequency, put out more power, or increase the modulation causes that little tag right there to be null and void. Okay? What you do with your radio, once you get it, that's your business. But it's only legal to operate a radio like this on the ham bands once it's been converted. And again, hams have been converting CB radios for decades. It's nothing new. So if you want an inexpensive 10-meter phone band radio, a radio like this is perfect. They work really well on 10 meters. In fact, I've got quite a few friends that have converted these to 6 meters. The 6-meter band. But 6 meters, the last time I checked, was mostly FM. And of course, this radio won't do FM without, you doing some modifications to the PLL circuit, where that you can inject modulation into the basically the clarifier circuit, and you can use slope tuning to detect FM with this type of radio. So you can make it work on FM, just not as well as a radio that comes with FM. All right, just wanted to clarify that. Okay, thanks a lot.